Thar, Phil, and that's triplet worlds orbiting triplet suns, far from the safe axiom lanes of prosperous space. Thar is a wild planet, full of mystical wonders and rich in natural beauty. Many races call this planet home, for it is warm and welcoming. The Council of Trine rule there with benevolence and mercy. Phil is a chaotic and dangerous place, an ocean world with a few small landmasses. Tidally locked, Phil's oceans are divided by time zone. Its people nomadic, sailing vast ships across the oceans from time zone to time zone. Ruled by a singular monarch, the Queen of the Hours, Phil is a wild planet under an iron-fisted, yet fair rule. That's as a war-torn world of high mountains and deep crags. The native races of that are ideologically opposed on almost every major issue. Incapable of reconciling themselves, they war over every piece of land available. That has no ruler, but each race does have its own chieftainess. Unknown to most of the peoples of the Trine planets, a terrible evil lurks, watching, waiting, planning. Yes, a terrible doom hangs over these worlds, and only one person is aware of it. Algra, the All-Mother, paces nervously back and forth across the vast room of the orrery. The power had whispered to her of something new among the vast galaxy, a new race, young and eager to prove themselves. A race of monsters from the darkest hell the galaxy had. A place where the power was banished, leaving all within its scope in darkness and death. And yet, from these monsters, from the darkness, beyond life, this selfsame race was one of heroes. Heroes, warriors who looked death in its naked eyes without flinching, who never gave up, no matter the odds. A race who looked upon impossible tasks as nothing more than tests to overcome. Champions of life who, when on their last breaths, used them to shout their defiance to the heavens themselves. In short, they were exactly what was needed. As Algra sat in a meditative pose and began the chants that would summon the heroes to her, as the power built into a cacophony of intent, will, and desire, she imbued the maelstrom with one desperate need. Send me an angel. The quartet belted out, the song sung with precision and skill. Send me an angel, right now? Empty dreams can only disappoint. In a room behind your smile. Sam Glenn, lead singer, waved his ebon locks as he sang to someone who wasn't there. The heat in his eyes transferred into his husky, low voice. Guitarist Thomas O'Malley flew his pale, freckled fingers over the strings, crimson hair falling in a curtain around his face. Bassist James Jim Morris stood behind Tom and Sam, bobbing his golden-haired head in time to the driving backbeat, while drummer Andy Black Angus Freeman played his drums with drive and heart. An anomaly among the sailors and soldiers of the Undaunted, the musicians of the Cruel Space Heartbreakers had spent most of their off time perfecting their art. The four had met during the long voyage through the Null, and had maintained their sanity by playing their favorite songs together. Rather than go on dangerous adventures, they had practiced daily to become the first intergalactic rock band, the first such phenomenon to ever leave Earth. In the year since the Dauntless had landed on Centris, they had amassed a small but dedicated following, mostly from the few illicitly taken videos of their practice sessions taken by a few daring cloaken infiltrators before they were thrown out. The band was primed to hit the galaxy by storm. You're looking for love, calling heaven above. Andy and Jim played a dramatic riff as Sam paused the lyrics for effect. Send me an angel. Send me an angel. Right now? Right, Woo? The band stopped as the axiom built around them, wavering and sparking as a massive effect built up. What did you do this time, Jim? I swear if you try that whole axiomatic music thing again. Sam threatened. Like, wasn't me, man. Haven't even touched the stuff. I was just playing pure bass beat. Well, it wasn't any of us. Y'all, I don't think it's stopping, Andy said, his eyes darting back and forth around the circle of the axiom effect. Well, it was bound to happen to us sometime, fellas. What I mean, Tom? Everyone else on this ship has been dragged into some chicanery or other out in this madhouse. I was kinda wondering when it'd be our turn. Darn it, Tom, why'd you jinx it? But before anyone else could answer, the axiom effect built higher and higher, until the fab foursome vanished into thin air. As alarms and alerts sounded all through the Dauntless, as the security team responded and the ship's camera logs were scrutinized, The 4 young men from Earth were warped somewhere else. Algra swayed back and forth as the effect drew to its conclusion, a warp in the middle of the room wavering, flickering in and out of visibility, before, with a flash of diffusing axiom, for forms appeared. For men, an unexpected, but appreciated eventuality, carrying strange implements. A pale-skinned, tall man with long black hair, a man with a metallic-looking mane of rufous red, with pale skin covered in spots of color, a muscular tan man with long flaxen locks, and finally a dark-skinned man with tightly curled hair, styled into a single strip bisecting his skull from fore to aft. As the men finished materializing and took their bearings, Algra spoke, drawing their attention. Please, great warriors from beyond the power of life. The Trine planets are in desperate need of your help. Sam looks around for a moment, scratches the back of his head, slowly taking in the swirling, rotating mass of beams of metal and crystal that dominated the center of the room. Sitting in a cross-legged pose was probably the oldest-looking woman any human had ever seen since leaving cruel space. Dark-skinned, with a mass of mostly gray, untamed hair, deep wrinkles, a wide, lugubrious mouth framed by a faint mustache under a nose reminiscent of a skull, the entire face framed by curling horns. Ma'am? We're not warriors, we're musicians. We play music. But music is a magic all its own, isn't it? Algra knows it. You knows it. Music is the most powerful weapon in the world. Or it isn't. Isn't. All the same, Algra called out for what was needed. The universe sent her you. You are needed. Will you answer the call? He turns back to his bandmates, the question clear on his face. Andy is the first to speak up. Well, hell, we're here, aren't we? Front line or not, we are undaunted. Tom? Well, why not then? Like Andy said, we are here. Jim? Yes. With the help of mine mighty axe, the god of rock will conquereth all mine foes. A shadow flares to life behind him. A massively muscled Viking, clean-shaven, with long, flowing locks. Okay, geez. Chill. He turns to the strange woman. What exactly do we need to do? GGDDDJRRM. A great evil approaches, tainting the universe with its death song. You must unite the Trine planets, lead their armies, and conquer the great evil that approaches. The greatest warriors of the Trine cannot hope to best this foe. We cannot come together in the time we have before it arrives. This is why we need you. This is why we need heroes. Well, we've got to be fast. We've got to be strong. We've got to be fresh from the fight. The band groans as Andy grins. Shut the heck up, man. What? If the song fits, play it. God darn it. And so, the valorous foursome embarked on a glorious quest to save the world. And so, after receiving the sagacious wisdom of the sage, our stalwart heroes embarked on a stunning journey through scorching deserts, barren wastelands, dark jungles, frozen snowfields, all on a quest to the city of Harrell, there to meet with the leader of the first of their many potential allies. Sam pinched the bridge of his nose as he hiked his traveling pack higher on his shoulders. The running commentary had been ongoing for hours. God darn it, Andy. Can you please not? We've been hiking for hours. Come on, man. You can't tell me you're not geeking out about this. We're on a quest. An epic adventure against a fell foe. I've been dreaming of something like this my entire life. We're fantasy heroes. Look at this place. He sweeps his arms grandiosely, encompassing the weird, wild forest the foursome are currently trekking through. A tree uproots itself and scuttles off on root-like feet. A nearby boulder shudders, opening up flinty eyes before rolling away after the tree. A patch of bulbous vegetation's roils and froths before settling back down. The animal life is no less strange. Iridescent jeweled butterflies flutter around mineral flowers, as what looks like a gossamer floating mass of cobwebs flaps gauzy wings. Sam shakes his head in rueful wonder. I mean, yeah, true, but still. The whole trip from cruel space was a grand high adventure, wasn't it? Oh, aye. Months of grueling training, mind-numbing tests, half a year of terror underscoring boredom and isolation. Some fucking adventure. Bunch of hurry up and wait. We were grabbed and spirited away from Centris to God's nowhere, with no weapons, no supplies, no clue, and sent out to fight some nameless horror from between the stars. That's not adventure. That's just a creative way to suicide. Like Sam, brah. Chill. Take it easy. Feel the air, man. There's magic here. I can feel the song of this place. It's full of axiom. I could, like, spend my entire life here, communing with the songs underpinning everything. It's transcendence, man. Sam stops and looks around. Actually looks around. Takes a deep, steadying breath. Lets it out. I mean, yeah. This place is beautiful in a vaguely unsettling way. This place looks like Brian Froud's wet dreams. I half expect to see some half-naked fairy girl or a four-armed wizard rambling about. Four-armed. Whiz. Ard? In an instant, all levity is gone as the four snap to attention, circling up back to back with instruments held in their hands like blunt weapons. Slow, plodding steps interspersed with a slithering, dragging sound are all that meets them. Slowly, a hunched figure emerges from the undergrowth. A young-looking, elongated face covered in whirling markings, suspended at the end of a long neck, fringed with a long mane along its entire length, thrust forward out of a squat, galactic-typical overinflated torso. For long, graceful arms, ending in four-digit hands. Waddling on two short legs, the woman drags a long tail, tipped with an artistically coiffed, long tuft of hair behind her. She carries a staff of gnarled wood, capped with a shimmering gemstone, both weapon and walking stick. So, Rose. Come. Who are you? Sam asks, his initial caution giving way to bemused wariness at the benign-seeming and frankly ridiculous-looking figure. I am Orwa, the Obi, Ser, Ver. Okay, well hello, but I have come to lead you to the Valet of the Mist. I see, ALS. Sam, at this point, has had enough. No. Nope. No. Valley of the Mysticals? I've seen this movie, but there is no way. A giant tit mystic? What next? Are the Skeksis gonna come bursting out of somewhere in goddarn fetish gear? I call utter bullshit. They're just can't, you know. I mean, it is a giant galaxy. What's that old saying? In an infinite universe, anything is possible? Besides, didn't that Herbert guy end up married to a horde of predators and xenomorphs? Then there's that planet of literal bat people, hydras with strippers for heads, that catgirl race, the mermaids. What I'm trying to say is, anything humans have dreamt up is probably out there somewhere. Andy shrugs. Why not Jim Henson Planet? Ugh. The universe stripperized one of my favorite franchises. Sam, you like the Dark Crystal? And I thought I was a nerd, huh? Oh, shut up. Like, just go with it, man. They can probably teach us some far-out stuff. Fine. But I swear to God, if I see a goddarn stripper Elmo, I'm so out it's not even funny. So, lass, where's it we're going? Come. With me, Rose. She begins to sing, a sound that reverberates the very earth beneath them, a sonorous cross between operatic and throat singing. Axiom builds and surges, and Jim pays careful attention. He had been studying axiom and galactic musical effects, trying to marry the two, with no success. This could be what he was looking for. With a flash, for the second time in as many days, the men were whisked away.